Welcome back. Let's see. Ooh, that looks delicious, as always. Something about the way they make their food. It just looks amazing.
I made breakfast. In hindsight, I probably should have prepared something a lot healthier for you.
Oh, I mean, as long as you can cook the basics, at least that's something.
Oh, don't you fuss. This is absolutely perfect. A little grease isn't going to kill me.
Is it alright for the baby?
Feels like forever since I last had your cooking.
I don't see what you're so enthusiastic for. I'm no master chef. I won't be too mad if you tell Johans to cook something else for you. That just means more for me, of course.
Yeah. I can't wipe the grin off my face when Hannah takes a bite and looks like she's enjoying what I've made. It would be a lie to say I'm not glad or proud of that I can make her happy. So perhaps I haven't been able to do that as of late. But Hannah needs me now, and that counts for something, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't think I can finish this all. But I should, shouldn't I? After all, I am eating for 3.
I feel a terrible pit in my stomach at the reminder. I tried to fill said pit with the food anyway. But I don't think I'm ready to raise a child, let alone 2 of them. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, she's having twins. There's nothing else that can be done other than to steel myself for fatherhood.
Speaking of you 3, what did Dr. Hobbs say? How are you and the babies?
The physician took some of my blood. We'll go through some other tests tomorrow to make sure we're fine. I know how you hate hospitals, so I asked Johans to drive me there. That way you can have some alone time with Kylie too.
Admit it, you just want to leave me alone with a little tyke without any backup.
Don't be like that. You'll do fine, I'm sure. And she'll love spending the day with her fairy godfather.
Yay! Of course, I can't just look at it like it's practice. I do want to be a good father, right? Not like my own. Though I don't think any practice of being a parent would have helped him. Well, practice makes perfect, whether you like it or not. Oh, we got ourselves a choice here. I definitely do not want to be like Damien Wright. I'm just worried about you. I'm just worried about the children. She's definitely worried about the children.
I'm just worried about the children, Hannah. I know you can take care of yourself just fine. You're one tough cookie.
Look at you, already becoming a great father.
Aww.
One day, when the kids are all grown up, I'll tell them the story of how their dad is being a great big worrywart. Just leave being pregnant to me, alright?
Got it, darling. My hand moves to Hannah's stomach, which has yet to grow to much beyond its usual size. There is such pudge hidden well behind her dresses. I'm half expecting to feel something, perhaps a kick. They always talk about how the sensation cements everything. Proof of life that goes beyond growing a belly. A growing belly, rather. But of course, it's far too early for that.
Still can't believe it, you know. I didn't think it would ever happen. We're going to have kids.
A shame. I certainly need grounding. It would help me get my head around what's going on.
How are you feeling about all of this?
I don't know how I feel actually. Worry is the first thing to come to mind, and I don't think I'll ever stop feeling that. That's what brought this on, isn't it? It would be awful of me to say that I'm not happy with the news, excited even. But that all did not stop me from feeling the same fear I had from when Hannah first told me of this. I was so afraid. Still am. I never gave thought into being a father until now. But I'm already afraid of them. Their safety in the world they would find themselves born into. I'm afraid for them because of me, the bastard who will be their father. The only consolation that comes to mind is the fact that they'll have someone like Hannah as their mother. Like I told Miss Pink, I never wanted to spawn anything. Though I truly did not mean to call a child, even an unborn one, an abomination. Of all the people in this room, I'm the one closest to being a monster after all.
I'm alright. You're good, so I don't see why I shouldn't be. I'm not the one carrying a pair of brats around in my belly, am I? Just think about it. 2 tiny humans are inside of you and you're going to swell up like a watermelon. If you can get through this, so can I.
I'm afraid, but the smile that Hannah gives me is enough for me to believe that everything will be fine. We eat the rest of our meal in incompanionable silence. And if I shovel some food off my plate onto Hannah, she makes no comment on it.
Come on then, sunshine. Eat up. Can't have any of you starving on my watch now, can I?
I say it in a joking manner, but I am entirely serious about making sure they didn't starve in every sense of the word. I know it is an impossibility to be lacking when it comes to food, with how well off we are, but there are other things a person can be starved of. Affection, attention. I can probably think about the third word that starts with the letter A, but I digress. Soon enough our plates are clear and I put them away. There is no objection to it either, as a quiet yawn escapes her lips, and her eyes start to droop. Indeed, the urge to sleep is high after having a full meal with an inviting bed. But sleep isn't what I need or want right now. As quiet as I can be when I make my exit, tray of food in one hand, which I'm quick to pass on to your hands as soon as I see him.
Johans, look after her. I just need to get out.
Stretch my legs, clear my mind, think, and let Zachary come in and meet Johans and Hannah about something.
Is everything all right? Should I be worried?
Everything is good. Really. Best I've ever felt in quite some time, I think.
Well, I think that's cause for concern. Shall I expect to find a corpse in need of cleanup?
I can only shake my head and grin, the deadpan delivery both amusing me and making me wonder if he is joking or not. It can easily be half and half. There has been an instance or two where that did happen. But I don't give him an answer. Let him keep guessing and step out for a breath of fresh air. Grey skies loom over on the horizon, though the sun fights for every precious minute it gets to stay. It'll rain again soon, with the wind bringing along the gloomy clouds normal to Luxburn. Until then, it doesn't hurt to be out of here, for fresh air and sunshine. I walk to the gardens, what little of it there is at the moment anyway, and kneel by the daffodils. These were the first to be brought here, and planted on my request, and if nothing else, they brought in a sense of peace. They were Mother's favorites. Closing my eyes, I lift my chin up to welcome the light that shines upon me, and for a minute I can imagine myself as one of the flowers, peaceful, blooming, and all too happy to stand in its warmth. Life would be much better if we were all like flowers, wouldn't it? But I didn't step out here to get all philosophical. I have problems much more practical than figuring out the meaning of life, after all. Or rather, problems that are distracting you from figuring out the meaning of life.
It's almost all saints, isn't it? To think I've almost forgotten.
I speak the words absent-mindedly. The date means nothing to me, as I worship the religion nor have any graves to visit. After all, Mother has never given a proper burial. Just quoting Luke here. But it's a date, as good as any, for me to grieve otherwise. I would have done so every single day, crippling myself and shutting everyone else outside. I can remember how the flames licked at her flesh, and how it consumed her body, until there was nothing left but ash. I stood there, watching within the operator and a social service worker, though I could have been all alone for all I cared. I felt alone. It was the most that could be done. No one would attend the funeral of a dead prostitute, let alone pay for it. All that was left of her. Proof that she had lived is her name, written in the ledger of Luxburn's cemetery, a lighter, and me. Pulling out the lighter from my jacket, I can't stop myself from flicking it open to stare at the flame. and run my thumb along her name. Eleanor. All in all, it isn't much, but it's something. And it'll be wrong for me not to make something of myself, when she would have given everything to make sure I can become anything I want to be.
Feels like I'm stuck in a nightmare right now. What I would give to have you here by my side, Mother dear. To see you smiling at me. Alive and as beautiful as ever. I'm afraid I'm starting to forget what your face looks like. I've already forgotten the shade of your hair.
He's closed his heart, made it stone cold. May this be a cautionary tale, everyone. Don't let your heart close yourself off from love. Eleanor Chandler was a wonderful woman, though not everyone would have agreed. Not everyone has been past her occupation, past her vices and her illness. All they saw was a poor woman who sold her body to make ends meet, and a bastard son because of it. They didn't see the mother who worked hard to put food on the table for me. The woman who gave and gave and gave to me while expecting nothing in return. That's what love is like, expecting nothing in return. It's pure selflessness. Altruism. She taught me the merits of hard work. But though I loved her so, I worked hard for myself. I would not be so foolish, so selfless towards people who would never give back. I learned that from the father who plucked me out of an orphanage for his own selfish gain. I pocket the lighter before I can feel the urge to actually set anything ablaze. Considering my close proximity to the flowers, they would be the most likely victim of arson. Just the thought itself is blasphemous. Nevertheless, that doesn't save them from being picked. Just enough to make a bouquet of the things in honor of Eleanor.
Would you be proud of me if you saw me now, Mother? Maybe. You're always so forgiving. No matter what trouble I got into, more than I deserved. Especially now.
I'm sensing his real voice now. Seeing him in this position, I can only pity him. He has everything in the world, yet he's got nothing. I think it was Rabbi Zacharias who once said, weariness doesn't come from being tired of pain. Meaninglessness, rather, and weariness comes from being weary. Oh yeah, sorry. It was Rabbi Zacharias says, meaninglessness does not come from being weary of pain. Meaninglessness comes from being weary of pleasure. That's what I was meant to say, yeah. Anyway, these memories of the past give me nothing but grief. The life of Lucille Mitchell Chandler should be nothing but a footnote in Luke Wright's non-existent autobiography. It's because of Hannah, isn't it? I worry that she is all too much like a mother that it scares me, and the thought that I am turning into my father is even more so. But even if history is so set to repeat itself, I'm not a child anymore. Content to sit aside, unable to do anything to help, and too inexperienced to think the worst would happen. I have money to put the best medicines and doctors if need be. She'll get better. She has to. And once we get over this little bump in the road, I can stop worrying. All will be right with the world. Unfortunately, my time alone is cut short, though.
I think those flowers look beautiful, my lord. The parlor, the room where the lady stays for her tea. It could certainly use some.
The voice is not familiar, though I'm not really one to remember such things. Oh. Hello. Going with her attire, I would say she's one of the housekeepers. Strange, considering I've sent all the staff but Johann's away. And her face, as pretty as it is unfamiliar to me. It would be a lie if I said that it didn't set me on edge. Most would say that I cared little for my employees. This isn't entirely untrue. Everyone, are you thinking what I'm thinking? However, I'd like to think I know the people who work for me, especially those who would roam my house, even if it's just a face and a name. Besides, I would remember beauty such as her. So who is this? Is she someone impersonating a household staff to get in? She's doing a bad job of it.
Didn't you get the memo? Are you new? Today is a day off. You aren't supposed to be here.
I expect poor excuses and apologies the likes of her often give, but she merely smiles.
Oh, no. I've been a servant here since you first came.
Are you thinking? I think it is. I see no signs of lying, nor hear it in her words, yet they can't be true. But I find that I feel like I can relax. She has that sort of smile that makes one's kindness shine through without words or action. It reaches her eyes, filling them with a strange sort of mirth, as if she's just thought of something very funny. Perhaps, had it been any other person, I would have interrupted it with a deceitful grin. But the curl of her lips and the shine in her eyes are too soft to hold any malice. She takes my silence as a sign that she can continue. And it's not like I can feel any urgency to stop her. I'm not really in the mood for company. But I'm not adverse to it at the moment either. Entertaining a beauty like her, even for a little while, wouldn't hurt. It helps that she proves easy to listen to, despite how oddly she speaks.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I shouldn't have bothered you. Look at me, talking to the master of the house without even asking for permission. What will the others think? If you'll excuse me, I'll just...
I haven't driven you away yet, have I? And it's your day off. I don't see why we can't chat a bit.
Of course. If that is what you wish. As long as it does not get you into trouble with the lady. To even take time for someone as lowly as me. No wonder that everyone under the mansion's employ is so fond of you. Though it should have no longer been a surprise to me. You have always been such a kind and loving lord.
I have to stop myself from calling her out of the poopery. It's almost as if she's talking about an entirely different man. No matter how big my ego gets, I know for a fact that I'm hardly in the running for Best Boss of the Year award. The only reason that most of the staff stay away, that my staff stays because of the decent compensation. I'm not cheap. If she wants to lay it on thick, I'll allow it. Who wouldn't want a beautiful woman complimenting them?
I'm sure she'll be fine with this. We are just talking after all.
So far.
Unless you had other things on your mind when you approached me.
The words leave my mouth before I even realize what I've said. I panic a bit. Though I can get away with picking up women out in the city, sometimes even out in the country. I've always taken care not to do so in my home or in my businesses. Not when I'll be so easy for Hannah to find out about my infidelity through these channels. Though, seriously, I still don't see what the big deal about it is. I just have an itch I need to scratch.
I know it must be amusing to see a girl flustered for a man of your stature. But please don't say such things, my lord. I saw you alone and simply thought you could use some company.
Thankfully, I do count my lucky stars. It seems the woman takes it as a joke rather than the casual pass it was intended to be.
So how are you liking your work around the mansion? The place is wonderful, but I imagine the upkeep is ungodly with all the rooms and whatnot. I don't even want to think about how many people are on the staff roster.
Work is work, my lord. It is a way of living. A purpose from day to day. It is certainly far better than doing nothing or having no food to eat. The house itself is also beautiful. There's no lack of things to look at. I'm sure you've seen those books in the study. I can't read any of them yet, but if given the chance, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be thinking of those things. Especially when the rains, they might bring more work to us soon. It will definitely be much more difficult when it returns. Idling about is the least I should be doing.
I guess you can put it that way if you want to be brutally honest about the whole thing. And the rain shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully. Maybe.
A little dreary, at least she doesn't beat around the bush. I like the honesty. Many would bemoan their status as a household staff, as a janitor, or other menial role, and believe themselves to be for greater things. I would not begrudge the idea that one could always get better. But one shouldn't be so discontent with what they have either.
The rain is something I simply must get accustomed to, if I am to live here. I've not spent long in this place after all. But I have been told that it has rained in this nation since a mother's time, and their mother's time. There is little we can do about it. I am just glad to have time in the sun, even for a short while.
Isn't that the truth? Really, these sunny days have been welcome, though I can't imagine they'll last for long. Sometimes I just want to pack my things and leave for somewhere like, say, the Bahamas or whatnot. Get some sun and surf.
But certainly, you will return for us, won't you? This is your home, after all. Your people, they won't be pleased if the master of the house leaves.
Of course, I can't very well leave my businesses hanging here, can I? I just wish I could actually trust people enough to go on vacation without taking work with me. I've also got to get back here if I ever want proper meals. A proper pudding or something you'll never find out there.
The woman nods in understanding, and I must say that she makes for a fine listening ear. Though what she says next gives me pause, whether she meant for me or to hear it or not.
And good tea. From what the cook has been telling me, I've yet learned how to prepare one. Perhaps once I do, it would endear the lady of the house to me. I never expected her to be so unkind after what she did for me. Though it's only if one catches her in a foul mood. I wish I knew how to avoid her anger.
I highly doubt she means Hannah. A woman rarely has a mean bone in her body. And when she actually is nasty towards someone else, it's usually deserving enough, much like with that Rochelle woman. She even tolerates Harvey for me, even if she did admit that she doesn't quite like this man. She must mean the head housemaid, right? I have to laugh at that. Not that I have room to speak. I don't deal with her myself anymore, though, even though Johannes has a few choice words about the head hag. She's been under the right employ when she was also head housemaid for my father. And if anyone's not going to get along with someone, I'd be that crotchety old woman. I don't even remember her name. But the woman has been the strict upstart female dog who took one look at me, her master's bastard son, and turned her nose up as if she were better by mere consequences of birth. That, and she absolutely loathed my very existence. Perhaps the rumors have been true. She had a miscarriage while bearing another one of my dearest father's children, and she saw me as an obstacle to being granted a better standing in life. I remembered that much at least. The only reason I haven't sacked her yet is because of her competence. Also, because working under my household makes her absolutely miserable. Her resignation made impossible by her pride.
Nobody really gets along with that woman. I think everyone just tolerates her because of how old she is. I mean, not to be rude or awful or anything, but she's at the age where she'll be pushing daisies soon enough.
Is she? Really, my lord? I'm sure the lady is much younger than that.
I think the thought of tormenting the young and beautiful gives her reason to live.
It does seem that way, though I feel sorry for her. One's life should not be wasted away on hatred and anger. It is never good for the heart or the head to always carry ill thoughts.
Yeah. This is what I mean by having eternal hope. There's just no point in living a life of hatred and anger. No point. You gotta love everybody, even if they're mean back towards you.
But at the least, you are here for us. We are certainly so lucky to have a lord like you. The lady even more so.
Yes, that's who I think it is, but why is she being so nice? Why is she being so kind? in her...
The gods smiled down on her. Though, if I may be honest, she is to be envied.
Even when I have my suspicions about her, she's just so easy to talk with that I've forgotten. I don't know who she is. And if she's actually one of the household staff, that would explain why she would be so easily give obviously wrong statements about my character. No, if she is here for malicious reasons, she would have done more than do small talk with me by now, wouldn't she? I have so many questions. Perhaps curiosity will cure this cat. I have so many questions and thoughts as well.
It's strange that I've never seen you before. What's your name?
You do not remember?
I don't believe you've mentioned it, or am I missing something?
You still cannot comprehend it, can you, my lord?
My answer chips away at the good mood I'm starting to get into. I have every right to be angry at the cryptic response. She threatens insubordination with her very presence alone. But instead of hurling vitriol at the woman, I take a deep breath. I do not want my mood ruined further than it already is. Not right now, while I let my temper take its course another time.
Whatever your name is, and no matter how long you've been working for us, that does not change the fact that you shouldn't be here. I'll call you a cab to bring you to the city if you want.
Shouldn't I? What if I do not wish to leave?
Uh-oh.
I merely desire to stay by your side and serve. Is that such a deplorable thing?
Is she gonna murder other people to serve the Lord of the Manor? Is that why he's less bothered? Her gaze sends chills down my spine. Uh-oh. It's too easy to see the devotion, the obsession in her eyes. Not the good sort either, as her scrutiny makes me feel like I'm laid bare. The offness of her presence is all the more palpable with the feeling of bugs crawling on my skin and the silence that makes it seem as if the world has stopped. Any friendly atmosphere we might have had going for us is completely forgotten. Danger. A small part of my mind screams. The part that has kept me alive all these years. And in hindsight, it'd be stupid not to take heed of it. But I've grown arrogant, complacent, and content to hide beneath wealth and power.
Yes, it's a deplorable thing, as you said, because I'd like to be alone now. Thank you very much. If you didn't want the day off, you should have reported to your superior. This is utterly unprofessional of you, and I shall be issuing complaints. In fact, if you know it's good for you, you should start looking for another employer.
It's at my threat that the smile on her face turns tight.
I see. It escapes you still. This is unfortunate. How despairing that this misery must go on. But maybe, if you come with me, I can help you. I can...
When she reaches out for me, I recoil with a hiss.
How dare you lay your filthy hands on me without my permission? I am not going anywhere with you. Now step back and walk away before I have you forcibly removed.
Yeah. I thought so. She herself turns horrific. Her presence is suffocating, bearing down on me. I'm rooted at the spot through no fault of my own as my fear paralyzes.
You are too much like that vile woman. Poisoned by her rotten influence and her filthy words. But that can be remedied now that you're here. Oh, how we have waited to welcome you home. Come, my lord. The house beckons.
When her fingers grasp the back of my coat, I finally find it in me to break off into a run. Yeah, I thought that was the ghost. I thought so. I thought, wait a minute, the way she's dressed. But I refuse to acknowledge it, let alone look back. All I need to do is get away from her and to make sure she stays away. If that means acting like a coward and seeking out company to keep me safe, nobody can tell me to do so otherwise. Bravery isn't something to be lauded if it comes along with stupidity. Must have been a sight. You see the usually composed and reserved Luke Wright bursting through the doors. Not that I have much of an audience unless there are other staff members who've chosen to disregard my orders to have them to leave. Really, I still doubt that woman is one of the staff. Mustering up the courage, I look back through the windows as if she's following me. She's gone. But I don't take any chances putting so much a distance as I can between us. Stopping to catch my breath, your hand suddenly appears. It nearly makes me jump out of my skin.
Don't fucking do that! You son of a bitch! If I had a gun, I would have shot you!
If I had any love left for my mutter, I'd take offense. But what happened to you? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Good observation there. Oh, if only if it were a delusion. But I can still feel her sharp nails digging into my back. The feeling was too real for it to have been a ghost.
There was his housekeeper. I think, I'm not sure. In the gardens. She was acting odd, and I thought to remove myself from the scene.
Strange. I made sure the rest of the staff had left and that the house was empty, as you requested. Describe this woman.
She had pale skin, dark eyes, and long, dark hair. She wouldn't give me her name.
I've expected a name from him. The man knows the staff better than I do, after all. But instead of an answer, he grows quiet. I'm pretty sure that this is not such a good thing. I'm pretty more worried that the other man looks over me. I'd protest when he pulls back at my collar.
What in the bloody hell are you doing?
Checking for marks. Needle marks, to be exact. We don't have anyone like that among the staff. You could have easily been kidnapped.
A cold feeling settles itself over me at the thought. I've long established my power over the more unsavory characters of Luxburn. Or I thought I did. And the most harm I thought that could have come to me would be slander, robbery, and incarceration. Kidnapping? An attempt at my own person? I've forgotten that I'm as human as mortal as any other man despite my wealth and status.
Fortunately, you look unharmed. But I advise that you be accompanied by trusted individuals at all times from now on. If not me, an assigned guard. I'll be informing them of this soon as they return from their day in the city.
Already I can feel the energy leave me at the realization of what could have been.
All right. Yes, I suppose we should do that. But I think I'd like to call it a day. I should be safe in bed, yes?
I'll stand guard outside for the night. The madam has been inquiring about you, by the way.
A guard. Any other threat, and he alone would be enough to make me feel safe. But what I saw, whatever it is I saw, would one man be enough?
That's all well and good, but there's something else. That housekeeper, she...
Luke, you're home. I was worried about you.
The grin, as I can muster, is probably lopsided. Forced, as I snapped my mouth shut to keep myself blabbing about witches and monsters. Because here I am standing in the hallway, dirt in my pant legs and sweat dotting my forehead. Where's your flowers? A far cry from my usual pristine condition. I wonder if he dropped them. I don't want to worry Hannah. A cough.
What happened to you? You look like you wrestled in the mud and moss, dear. And those flowers. Were you gardening?
Still have the flowers.
What? Oh, these. I didn't realize I still had them.
I realized before you did. I really did not. But there they are, still in my grip, the daffodils I had taken from the garden. Even in the wake of my flight, I had refused to let go of them, whether I was conscious of it or not.
Shall I put them in a vase?
Give them to Hannah. Why would you throw them away after doing the effort of picking them up? Seems rather stupid.
They're for you.
These are lovely, thank you.
You're welcome.
They're for you. Don't make me think that kneeling around in the dirt was a waste of my time.
Precisely.
It's not. It's not. Just... Are you feeling alright? I hope whatever I have isn't contagious.
I'm not sick, Hannah. I just got them for you. I thought they'd make you feel better, brighten up the room. I don't need my intentions questioned. The thank you was enough.
And I didn't mean to insinuate anything. But you're right. Thank you. truly for these.
You're welcome. She takes them from me, then, careful not to crush the stems. Right. Okay. There is still uncertainty on her face, which endears and annoys me in equal parts. But she does look lovely with them. The very picture of her, something that should be immortalized in paint. They should be for Mother, but it doesn't matter anymore.
Why don't we turn in for the night? You must be exhausted with all that gardening.
Why does a dead woman care for flowers? October 31st, Monday. It's raining, it's pouring, the rich man is snoring. Right, this is the day before that night. Alright, where are we so far? We're here. We've done that so far. And we have a long way to go. With how it looks outside, it seems just the weather is making up for all the sunny days it has given us with a good old-fashioned downpour. It does let up within the quarter of an hour, however. A day beginning with a cloudburst like this, locals usually take it as an immediate sign. Luxburn's abysmal weather is back, likely for good. And then the sunshine. I hope they did a dang good job of fixing this place, because I'd rather not have to deal with leaky roofs. Now, Hannah might find humor in it and perhaps ask me to sing in the rain to like Frank, what's his surname? I've forgotten his surname. Right, just checking my progress. Okay, gotten past that choice. Okay, butterfly effects. Okay, so there's gonna be, okay, that's gonna lead to that, and then there's gonna be hop-de-doo, and then, okay, double check if there's gonna be a QTE or if it's, easy road from here. Just checking. Maybe I should do this off screen. Yeah, I'll do this off screen. Anyway. I'm a businessman, not a doctor. I hire the doctor.
Are you really going to stay in bed all day?
We could do that.
What do you want? It's far too early to deal with your nosiness.
You must have been really rattled by what happened yesterday. If you need to talk about it, I'm quite qualified in that regard.
And you aren't even the slightest bit bothered. Truly, not even the slightest bit worried.
I was worried. But I realized that it's not my life in danger, is it?
How selfless of him. Honorable.
My worrying will not help matters. Neither will yours.
Loath as I am to admit it, he is right. The whole thing might have rattled me, but there is a little point in jumping at every shadow I see from the corner of my eye. I shouldn't lose my head for a threat that might not even come. I should know better by now. But I've never been this worried about a possible threat on my life before. I'll be honest here. If anyone is in danger, it's Hannah. I can take care of myself just fine. With security tightened, I'll have at least one guard, if not 5, making sure nobody gets within 10 feet from me without my say-so. Hannah, on the other hand, is pregnant and will be away for most of the day.
Are there any updates about the woman?
Being in the dark has me on the edge. Information, any at all, may very well help me to calm down.
I've already briefed security about her, and more from the agency will be arriving tonight. But they haven't seen anyone fitting the description.
So you have nothing then? What of use you guys are. What do I even pay you for? Do me a favor. There's the door. Don't let it hit you on your way out.
Well, there is something. It's about McCulloch.
Can anyone blame me if I show the tiniest bit of interest? She's still not done with the house, and she's a nice enough woman. plans to go back to sleep are gone.
I called her secretary about taking the day off. He hasn't heard from her over the weekend.
She's probably passed out after enjoying a pint or 2 or 10 in a bar somewhere. She's an adult. It was the weekend. She's allowed to disappear and not think about work. I wish I was passed out after a night of drinking. He does know that mobiles are a thing.
That's all well and good, but she's not answering her mobile either. Mr. Parker will be filling a missing persons case with the police if she doesn't turn up today.
Certainly someone must know about this. Background checks encounter civilians until they've finished their contracts. I can't be too safe. Too many want me dead.
What about one of ours? Has anyone seen her? She's pretty hard to miss with how tall the woman is.
The last anyone has seen of her was here, the morning of the party.
Yeah, fun fact. I hear that Marianne is actually the tallest character in the main cast, being 5'11". I will remind you, I am 6'5".
Your housewarming party.
This isn't good news.
It wouldn't do for the police to hear of this, and to suspect.
It's of little import that I can easily prove my innocence. It is all a matter of principle, because even the accusation of misdemeanor should not stain my reputation, although maybe it is a bit too late to hope for a squeaky clean one. Besides, it'll be such a hassle to have police poking around the house looking for a body that doesn't exist.
Now, if we're done here, I'd like to go back to sleep and...
Uh-oh, it's the goddaughter! Yeah, da da.
Of course!
I should have spared my jelly babies for this.
Johans, distract her.
Here is the jelly baby. Go into the woods. Fetch.
Oh, look, it's time for me to go. Have fun with your little play date. So long, farewell, and auf Wiedersehen.
Auf
Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Johans, don't you turn away from me. Keep her busy for an hour. Come on!
Come on! This is actually funny.
Hello there, little Fraulein. Your uncle is just upstairs and will be down in a moment.
Uncle? The Doomkopf is not an uncle, she's a godfather.
He is super excited to have you today. I hope you're well rested and ready to play a lot.
Ready to eat jelly babies.
Bastard. I'll be down in a sec, Munchkin. Let me just...
Change to a fresh shirt and brush my teeth. He has a smart suit for sleeping, a smart suit for all that. Picks his hair, bemoaned my very existence. Wish I was anywhere else in the world right now. Don't get me wrong, Kylie's a great kid, wonderful. Better than most brats her age. True. But handling a tyke is the last thing I want on my agenda right now, and with this whole harder business. Fortunately, I am well versed in how the world works. I've learned long that the show must go on, no matter what hurdles come in my way, so I set to preparing for the day. Running a comb throughout my hair is just divine. It simply makes me feel more human. Bed hair is disgusting, although it isn't as bad now as it was when I was a child. Well, that depends on who's got the bed hair. I think I rock my bed hair. I pretty much wear my bed hair all the time. So, fun fact, I used to have my hair like a coconut flat, but during my primary school years, as well as early secondary school, I used to gel my hair and spike up a lot like Bart Simpson. But lately at early high school, and especially in my college years, I'm rocking the bed hair. I do wash it, but nowadays I like my hair organic and chunky. Never thought I'd talk about my hair in a horror visual novel game, but there you go. The curls and tangles are simply horrid. I was even mistaken as a little girl. Because of that, it certainly doesn't help that I was named Lucille. freshly pressed shirt is enough to chase away the last sign of sleepiness. The feel of crisp and clean cloth in my hand. Don't forget to put makeup on your eye bags, just in case. Smoothing down my suit and my hair with a sigh, I steel myself for the horrors that come from taking care of a child.
Good morning to you, Luke.
Good morning, Kylie.
Speak of the devil, and she shall appear. Wow, associating her with satanic summoning. Wow, you have low standards, Luke.
Did you just wake up? Oh, tell me you forgot. It's our playdate today.
I doubt I'd forget. Kylie's visits are a frequent enough thing that they've found a way into my schedule. They're supposed to be visits to her godmother, but we can't pick up who a child gets along with. So long as I'm not busy, her father can drop her off for the day. Which is all well and good for me, but if it makes Shora's focus on work I've given him. Besides, she's a bright child, tolerable. Kid's got a good head on her shoulders, and can get pretty mature for her age at times. Of course, they have to thank me for that. Her parents can take partial credit, but Hannah and I have been there for this kid since she was a small babe. A small babe. A small baby. Small babe. Every time I hear the word babe, I'm thinking of David Bowie. Remind me of the babe. Well, I still can't remember the first time I saw her. It was during her baptism. The only reason I was there was to accompany Hannah, who was to be named godmother. Ah, of course. Looking at the profiles and wondering, Luke is so incompetent. How is he, her godfather? It was through Hannah. She's the godmother through her Anglican, churchy stuff. And then it was, okay, it's coming together now. She was such a tiny thing, not even a year old, and swaddled in her mother's arms in white cloth. It was the first time I really saw an infant up close. Close enough to hold one, at least. I've been terrifying to be given a little child to carry after the whole water ceremony. I'd never done before that, to hold a tiny life in my arms. I could have just dropped her on her head, and this little tyke before me would have stopped existing there and then. So precious they are, yeah. But the child just smiled at me, babbling nonsensical words as children do, and clinging to me as I tried to hand her off to Hannah. She had thought it hilarious and adorable. My suit had been a mess, and I was nearly an anxious wreck at the time I handled her back to her mother. Yet it was pleasant, too. To think it might be doing it again soon. With Hannah's children, with our children, kids of my own flesh and blood, with all the chromosomes involved. In a few months' time, I'll be cradling them in my arms, hearing the ring of their laughter against my ears. It's a tender thing to think about. And despite myself, despite of all the fears that I will never be good enough for them, I'm actually looking forward to it.
Of course I didn't, you little rugrat. I just had to take care of something before you arrived.
Really? Well, I guess that's fine. As long as you don't leave for work like last time.
Really? Now why don't we go back down and have breakfast in the parlor?
I already ate at home. Papa made one of his tortilla de patatas. He wouldn't let me leave until I finished every bite.
Ah, so this is infamous tortilla de patatas. These things are a hazard. You can probably use one to bludgeon someone who is submission with how huge they are. It's a miracle Kylie can still be so energetic. It's the food that fuels her. She demands those foods. I had trouble staying awake the first time I had one. Speaking of staying awake...
Well, I need some coffee in me at the very least. But if you'd like, you can jump straight to dessert.
Yes! Dessert, please!
It's enough to manage Kylie with the promise of sweets, thankfully. So sweet. Right. I should probably save the game right here. The thought of her slipping and breaking her neck is enough to make me rush down after her. I think there's potential for Luke to be a good father.
Slow down, the food isn't going anywhere.
The food is going somewhere. In my tummy.
and then out again.
Jesus fucking Christ. Children.
Blasphemy. With a shake of my head, I usher Kylie towards the parlor and order a maid to bring food for us. Whatever breakfast there is, along with a cup of coffee for me and an ice cream for Kylie. But I can't leave the kid alone for too long unless I want to let her turn the other room into a slaughterhouse ground. And here we are at the parlor. Hey! Hey, look! We got ourselves a good dinosaur there. We got ourselves a doll in a sort of Moulin Rouge kind of dress. Got a pink teddy bear. Got crayons, a coloring book. What's not to like? Didn't they say they would make a spare bedroom for the children? Just getting through it. And checking in on where I am at the story. Okay, so let's get through this.
Oh.
Those were ponies, Tio. They're much cuter than horses.
'Cause they're baby horses.
But we went to a dinosaur zoo, and it was awesome!
Dinosaur zoo. That must have been amazing.
Siri, dinosaurs are my favorite.
Indeed.
I have no idea what that is, but it must be something. I'm only familiar with the T-Rex myself.
I mean, every primary school child knows about dinosaurs. There's the Triceratops, the Velociraptor, the Stegosaurus, Brontosaurus, and
Yeah, they found, fossils of its claws. They're really long.
oh, aye.
They think the whole theory might be a bazillion meters tall, even bigger than a T-Rex.
Theory.
Cisa says it'll be big enough to eat all my classmates.
Indeed. Oh my goodness, her eyes! Oh my goodness, that stare! That's a death stare if I've ever seen one. She only laughs as I scrunch up my nose and grimace.
Takako says you're making a really funny face.
Taka who?
Takako, a friend I made.
I have to stop and look around, expecting one of the help to be there. The child does have a way of befriending just about anyone as long as she puts her mind to it. Yet the two of us are completely alone, with no one there beside them, playing with the toys in the spooky mansion, drinking coffee and skipping straight to dessert. She's an angel and I'm being the godfather that she needs to have right now. She's so cute, but look right, can't handle her. He's having a better time with the coffee, full of caffeine to keep him awake through the day as he would play and all the day and yay, and oh. Yay! Anyway. I'll change as soon as the stomach settles. Of course, the calm before the storm. Oh, yes. Because behaved as she is right now, I can feel the curiosity just radiating off her. There's a restlessness buzzing behind her skin and a question on the tip of her tongue, as they often are with children her age. But for now, I can take this piece with no complaint of however long it stays. I have fun with the crayons as well, at the child's assistance, even if I can't really draw. With Kylie using the black crayon, that leaves me with a blue one. I absentmindedly start to draw Puppy to the best of my abilities. It's as I attempt to give the doodle dogs another eye that Kylie breaks her silence.
Tio? Where did Tia go? I saw them leave when I got here. Tia didn't look so good.
Oh.
She's just going to the doctor's for a checkup.
As kids go, there are follow-up questions.
And you didn't go with her?
Oh, I thought she was going to ask why, but that's a pretty mature question.
Well, you were going to be here, sweetie, so I had to stay behind.
So she's all alone? At the hospital?
with Johan's.
Oh, no, of course not. Tia has Johan's and...
Yeah, but you're not with her.
Oh.
But I understand. When I get sick, Papa and Mama have to leave me with their maids, too.
Who is her rich family?
Well, they don't take care of you?
That doesn't sound right. Even my mother took care of me when I was sick as a child.
Well, they're always busy with work.
Oh, I see. I guess that's no good.
I know she doesn't mean to accuse me of anything, but as her father's boss, maybe I do overwork Sir a bit. There's a lot of responsibilities that only he is capable of carrying out. Delegation is a thing, sure, but when said responsibilities are legally questionable at best, putting others to the task isn't always an option. But...
Maybe your papa is in need of some vacation time. He deserves it, doesn't he? He's a hard worker. I could arrange something for the holidays.
Like a visit to a spooky haunted mansion? Maybe I should just stop making that joke. I really am beating a dead horse by now.
Would you really, Tio?
Would you like that?
I'd like that very much, yeah! We can go to this museum! There's one with lots of cool trains and planes! I like trains!
Come on, that joke was coming. If you've seen ASDF Movie 2, you saw that joke coming.
And there's the local manor theme park! And a monkey forest! There's a kid adventure farm too, the wacky warehouse, and a play barn as well, and...
Whoa, slow down there, Munchkin. I know you're excited, but I think you should let me schedule your dad's day off before you plan a whole year's worth of stuff.
I like trains. Sorry.
I think Tia would be really happy if you were with her. You could have told me you needed to go to the hospital with her, Tio. I won't be angry.
I'd love to be with her, but I wanted to spend time with you, Munchkin. And she told me to stay. Besides, I don't like hospitals. They always smell like alcohol. Not the good kind either.
I don't think anybody likes hospitals. They're scary. But you said Tia is brave and strong.
Hospital ought to be a comforting place, at the very least.
That she is.
A content silence came over us, and we got back to scribbling. Though I stop when I'm done with my blue dog, cringing at how awful it looks. Hey, Blue from Blue's Clues would be proud. Kylie reprimands me for that because I should be like her. The little tyke goes through several sheets of paper, one drawing after another. Practicing, she says, because practice makes perfect. Yep. As an artist who's completed a degree, that couldn't be any more true. Practice makes perfect, everybody. Not to mention there's a drawing contest coming up in class. She has to beat him. Beat him. Beat him. Beat him. Beat him. Get it? Beat him. Beat him. Beat him. Anyway. The clay gets a turn too, where we start sculpting food and pretending we're Michelin chefs. When we're too tired from tossing pizza and making cakes, there's no trouble in finding another activity more relaxing for the both of us. I find myself invested in reading The Picture of Dorian Gray once more. Often I lose myself in the pages of the book. However, it is rather difficult to say so when I'm also trying to keep an eye and ear out, so for Kylie, I've also read the same paragraph over and over again even. Inexplicably, I can feel my skin crawl when the girl sits with Narcissus by the parlor's fireplace, humming, singing. I ignore it long enough to hear only the tail end of the song.
Everything is up in flames, up in flames, up in flames. Everything is up in flames, my fair lady.
That's a grim nursery rhyme. Right. Mildly creepy, relaxing music. I'm gonna have to go and cook dinner now. And I'm probably gonna have to warn you, in the next few playthroughs of, the letter, might have to keep it quiet down because, I wouldn't want to disturb anybody. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. As always, we shall continue the letter And let's see how far I've gotten so far. Yeah, let's see where this goes. See you, Space Cowboy.